We start here on the local front, where the Constitutional Court is holding its final hearing of President Yoon Suk Yeol's impeachment trial. For details on the day's events thus far, I have our correspondent Oh Soo-young standing by live. Soo-young, welcome back. So what has been happening at the court?
Right, Sunny. So President Yoon's 11th and final impeachment trial hearing began today at 2 p.m, some 73 days after the National Assembly passed a motion to remove him from office, following, of course, his martial law order on December 3rd. And throughout today's session, well, first of all, justices began reviewing evidence that they haven't examined yet. The National Assembly's impeachment panel then presented news reports and CCTV footage, continuing to accuse Yoon of trying to storm the National Assembly and remove lawmakers from the building through military force in an attempt to stop them from voting to lift martial law. Before giving both the National Assembly, so after that, the justices gave both the National Assembly and President Yoon's legal teams around 2 hours to present their closing arguments, and we're in the middle of that at the moment. The National Assembly so far it's continued to argue that President Yoon's declaration of martial law was illegal and that his orders on December 3rd were unconstitutional.
President Yoon lost the people's trust and declared martial law while ranting about anti-state forces. Now it's time for him to face the consequences of his delusions.
Meanwhile, Yoon's legal team is expected to continue to insist that President Yoon's martial law was an executive right and was declared as a warning against the dominant opposition party's tyranny in Parliament that Yoon claims paralysed government functions, as well as voicing concerns over election fraud. Now, after wrapping up the arguments, Assembly Impeachment Panel Chair Chung Chong-le and President Yoon will deliver their final statements with no time restrictions. Yoon has reportedly prepared a 40-minute-long handwritten speech, and he's widely expected to reiterate that the purpose of his martial law was peaceful and that he was trying to bring national unity. Now, all eyes are on whether he would offer some kind of political gesture or compromise to draw public appeal. Now, President Yoon notably didn't join his lawyers in the courtroom at the beginning of the hearing, as he was presumably preparing for his speech, and he was seen departing Seoul Detention Center around 40 minutes ago. Now, in 2017, during former President Park Geun-hye's impeachment trial, the National Assembly's team spoke for about an hour and 40 minutes, while Park's defense stretched their argument to 5 hours and 10 minutes with 15 different speakers.
Right then, Soo-young, what happens once today's hearing ends?
Well, the 8-member bench will go into deliberation mode, and after that, presiding Justice Chung Yong-sik is going to present his review to his 7 colleagues before all 8 of them vote either for or against impeachment, and the final ruling will be drafted based on the majority opinion. If the presiding justice holds a minority view, another justice from the majority will be assigned to draft the decision. The court will then decide the date to announce the verdict, which is widely expected to be within 2 weeks after the last hearing, so likely around mid-March, it looks like. If 6 or more of the 8 justices vote in favour of the impeachment, then President Yoon will be removed from office effectively, triggering a snap presidential election within 60 days. But if at least 3 justices oppose impeachment, the motion will be dismissed and Yoon will immediately resume his duties.
So, Soo-young, while the court decides on whether to reinstate or to remove the president, public rallies, I hear, continue.
Yes, indeed. As much as this is the last hearing of President Yoon's impeachment trial, large crowds were expected to gather around the court. So the area around the Constitutional Court has been blocked off, and there's a greater police presence than, well, the greatest since we first saw President Yoon attend his trial. And that would be around 3,800 police officers patrolling the area in Jongno-gu district. That's also with 190 police buses blocking paths to the court. Around 1,000 people have reportedly gathered in the next street, though, to oppose Yoon's impeachment shortly before the hearing began, and we can still hear them calling against his impeachment and loud music blazing through the streets as well.
Right, I see. All right, Soo-young, thank you for the latest on the final hearing of the impeachment trial against President Yoon Suk Yeol.